Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do another movie review. This is an oldie but a goodie, or at least I think it's a goodie. It's definitely an oldie. And the movie is called the Day Time Ended, which is an ironic title because if time ends, then how can you have a day? That's interesting. Um, Movie came out in 1979. I believe I saw it when I was 10, though. The movie got released into theaters. I don't remember it ever being in the theaters, but then again, I was 9 years old. It seems like the sort of movie that my dad would have taken us to go see. He was really big on the bad science fiction movies, and this is definitely a bad science fiction movie. But I do remember seeing it on TV. Back then, that was really common. This was before there was cable, certainly long before there was streaming or anything. And so a lot of times movies would get released in the theaters and then sometimes later would be shown again on network TV, which you don't really see much of that anymore because once a movie gets released, it usually goes to cable or something else like that. HBO and Showtime definitely killed that practice. But back when I was a kid, you could see feature films on TV before. So in my mind, it's always a made-for-TV movie. And to be honest, when you watch it, you can understand the confusion. The special effects are very low budget, and this is even for 1979. Gotta remember, Star Wars came out in 1977. So this movie came out just a couple of years after Star Wars, and the special effects are nowhere near as good. They do a lot of stop motion animation. I don't think it was Harryhausen because it's just not very good. It's not up to his par. I don't think. I'd have to double check that. But it's still a great movie. It has a I think maybe because I saw it when I was a kid, it's always had like this special place in my heart. And there's a certain charm to it. You know, the special effects isn't great. The acting is okay. Actually, the woman who plays the mother, I think she won an Academy Award or she was nominated one. She was in The Big Sleep, and so she's not a bad actress. Um, but yeah, the casting is really weird. They had an older man and an older woman playing the parents, and they have like a teenage son, and I'm like, did you have him when you were 40 or something? I don't understand. Maybe 50. So the casting is kind of strange. It takes place in this little farmhouse. I think it's in the desert Southwest. It may have been California. I'm assuming it's California because everything's made in California. And it's supposed to be like this sort of got solar panels, and it's supposed to be kind of like off the grid and this sort of thing. And it's very, very 70s. If you want to watch how people dressed and the way they decorated their homes in the 70s, it's very 1970s. Not as much as like the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you watch the 1978 version, I think is when it came out. That's very much like that's how people lived and looked in the 70s. Hanging plants everywhere. But I digress. Um, the basic premise is that a supernova happened 200 years ago, and the energy of that supernova is just now reaching Earth. And for some reason, it only affects this one little farmhouse. I mean, there's like some thunder and lightning and some radio interference, but this farmhouse becomes like the nexus, the vortex, as they call it, for all the strange things that happen. This green glowing pyramid appears, but then it shrinks down. So this little girl, played by Natasha Ryan, who is like one of the child actresses of the 70s. She seemed to be everywhere, and then all of a sudden she was nowhere. She just dropped out of acting and never came out of it. I have no idea what she's doing. I don't know if there's even any like public photos of her as an adult. There probably are. I just haven't really searched, but anyway, so she plays the cute old girl, and she's just like enthralled by everything that happens. And maybe that's the reason why it had sort of a special place in my heart, was because the girl wasn't scared. With all the stuff that was going on, the girl thought it was all neat. She wasn't really frightened. She almost seemed to be kind of annoyed by things at times, mainly because it was like frightening her parents, her parents or grandparents. Um, what else happens? This little green guy looks like, I guess he's supposed to be like a little imp or something. He comes, he dances around. Then there's this spaceship that's it's only like this big. Apparently, it's not really huge, but it fires laser beams and it goes after the family. And so it's kind of like this race of like maybe tiny people who are for some reason attacking all these others, and like I said, just all this sort of weird stuff just happens, and strange lights in the sky. Monsters appear and just beat the crap out of each other in the field for no apparent reason. And then the vortex starts happening, and they swirls around. It like takes them to different places, and they go to like one looks like kind of like a desert planet, and it's just covered with all these like abandoned ships, like spaceships, airplanes, boats, all sorts of like weird tractor vehicles, and you can tell like a lot of them aren't even from Earth, and so it's like all of these like alien ships and things from the future have all like been plopped on this little place and just forgotten all about, and like I said, it's just more weirdness, and then it has like a happy ending, which is probably another reason why I liked it as a kid. Was even if you thought it was kind of scary, if you're 9-year-old and thought it was scary, then in the end it all worked out. Like I said, the girl was never frightened by anything that was going on. She thought it was all wonderful, and I think one of the other reasons why I like that movie is it kind of resonates with a theme that I've always had, even as a little kid, of what if where you're at stops being where you're at. What if you're in a. I remember one time I was in a Jack in the Box. I don't remember how old I was. It's probably middle school or something. And I remember being in a Jack in the Box with my parents, and just thinking, what happened like if this whole Jack in the Box and everybody in it got teleported to like another planet, and we all had to like try and figure out how to survive together or something. One of the things I liked, I think the closest I've ever seen this really in print was Stephen King's The Mist. Now in that one, he never, if you read the story, he never really explains like what the mist is and what's going on and that sort of thing. It kind of implies it's sort of this Lovecraftian, somebody opened up a portal to another dimension and all the stuff came in or something. But he never really, it's very much told from the perspective of the father character. And because he doesn't know what's going on, we as the readers don't really know what's going on. So that's part of what made the movie work. But it was him being in a grocery store when the strange mist rolls in, and then there's things in it, and then he and all the people are trapped inside the grocery store, and then it's about them trying to escape and that sort of thing. And that's probably one of my favorite Stephen King stories ever. Actually, it might be my favorite Stephen King stories ever. And maybe it was because it's the only story I've ever seen that kind of scratched that itch. But I definitely like that notion. And when you do writing, when you're trying to come up with ideas, that's something that they constantly come up with, is ask the what if questions. What if the place that I'm in got teleported to another place? What if all the people on planet Earth was killed except me, and I'm stuck on this planet by myself? What if all the people that I work with, got traded out with aliens, but I didn't know it? These sort of things. Constantly asking what if questions, and that's what alternative history is all about. Like, what if D-Day had failed? And the Nazis, like, would they still be here today? That sort of thing. Kind of playing with all those stories. Even if you really want to get interested in like, which would be a really difficult book to write, at least difficult book for me to write, would be, what if Christianity had not become the state religion of the Roman Empire? What if Christianity kind of stayed like this small little cult in the Roman Empire? What would the world be like today? I think the problem is there'd be so many changes that it'd be really hard to describe, because so many other things would follow from that. But digressing a bit again. This is just really a fun movie. It's not a great movie. Mystery Science Theater did one of their send-ups of it. I actually never saw that one. I think it was about the point I stopped watching the show. But that gives you an idea of Mystery Science Theater's making fun of it. Kind of gives you an idea of like the quality we're talking about. But if you get a chance to check it out, I have seen it on Tubi, Tubi. Maybe it's Tubi, Tubby. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But it's a streaming service. It's for free. There's just some ads, not very many though, even less than I think like what Hulu has. I did get it on DVD because I liked it that much when I came across it. Kind of randomly, I had to get it. Like I said, just a very fun movie. It plays with time travel and interdimensional travel and what happens to just regular people when these things sort of happen to them. And there's a little bit of that. I noticed that kind of genre is still popular today on Netflix. People going through portals or out of portals. I think the lit RPG genres sometimes like that. People get beamed into their video games and trying to survive. I think the difference is in a lot of those cases, people know what's happening to them, and sometimes they even choose it, what's happening to them. And whereas in this movie, it was very much just random family stuck in weirdness, trying to survive the weirdness and trying to make it work. But anyway, if you ever get a chance to check it out, I think it's a lot of fun. Like I said, go into it expecting a good popcorn movie, and you'll be fine. But anyway, I will talk to you later.